Last week on Kidz Review Crew.
Guys, why are you still at the studio? You were supposed to meet us here. I left the tickets for you and your parents.
I didn't get any tickets.
Why was I called in today?
Because Jeff was supposed to fly us up to Disney World and he forgot the tickets.
What the? There's a gate for my farm.
Conga,
Is this good hair?
Is this good hair? There's a puppy. I already took one puppy.
Who's this?
Mr. Freckleface, how about that?
Oh
I
my.
got a lot of things.
Oh,
I'm
should it
building
be-
a farm. They had a baby.
They love each other.
The police got Santa.
I will never let you go. Chicken.
Yes, you will.
Chicken.
They have Elsa and Anna in a weird fashion.
Mr. Freckleface's mom, where should
What is this?
Yeah. Oh,
Hey,
look,
guys.
it's a baby cat.
How's everybody doing?
Good.
So you're playing with toys?
No.
You know, this is serious work here, right? We don't play with toys on set.
But
Olaf! Thanks for filling in for me, buddy. Hey, you want to see some pictures from the trip to Walt Disney World? Have fun watching the movies, and we're going to go ride some rides at Walt Disney World. Right, Lexus?
Yeah.
Yay! Yes? Okay.
I gotta go.
This is Alexis and I on Tower of Terror. She screamed her head off.
Kidz Review Crew.
Welcome back to Kidz Review Crew.
Today we'll be watching and reviewing Playmobil, the movie.
Playmobil is about a girl that embarks on a journey to save her brother when they're zapped into the world of Playmobil. It's very true.
This movie stars Anya Taylor-Joy, Gabriel Bateman, and Daniel Radcliffe. Let's get started.
Who here plays with Playmobil toys? Oh, sorry. Have you ever played with Playmobil toys?
Yeah, when I was younger, I loved them.
Yeah.
My brother had like this volcano treasure hunting set. I would play with it all the time. My dad, he had a baby set of Playmobil toys from
Wow.
way back in the day.
Oh, wow. Lily?
I have this Playmobil horse with a rider.
Nice.
I remember that I had like this hockey set because I love hockey.
Well, it seems to be Playmobil covers almost every possible hobby, profession. It's quite the prolific, there's a word for you for today. It's quite the prolific toy, and it's certainly something that I know that my kids played with, and so it's very familiar and obvious why filmmakers wanted to make a movie about it, I guess. So let's talk about the movie itself. We've seen a lot of animated films come out in the last couple years that have like really great music in them. Let's start out with the music to Playmobil. Hey, by the way, welcome Marcus. This is your first review. Welcome aboard.
Yay!
First question goes to you then. What about the music in Playmobil?
I didn't find any of the music interesting,
Oh dear.
although I thought that the Fairy Godmother song was pretty funny.
Okay. Do you think it's going to be a hit? Do you think it's something that you'll hear on the radio or just
No.
okay.
I agree with Marcus. I think like probably the Fairy Godmother one. I feel like they tried to make it all wee, but none of the songs really, hit the mark. Yeah, I thought the magic fairy one was only the one that was really that interesting.
Oh, okay.
The other ones weren't really songs that finished. Like, they weren't really songs.
So we're not going to see a repeat of like Frozen.
No.
Maybe we should just let that go.
Into the no.
So let's talk about the movie itself. What did you like about the movie? Let's start with the positives. Jacob.
Well, one of my favorite parts was when they just did this whole big battle in one arena. I think it was pretty cool, and there was a couple of songs that were sang in there, but there was a lot of action happening in that arena.
It seemed like it was a very action-packed movie, which was interesting for Playmobil.
It did have a lot of action, I felt, but what I liked is that there are so many like different worlds and so many different scenes. Like, this isn't really a spoiler because you can see it in the trailer, how they go to so many different places, and all the details and the characters that they like play so nicely into their respective areas. It made it so much more interesting to me.
I think the movie was pretty complicated because they went everywhere and they all just put it all together and it made a really good movie.
Yeah. But you found it complicated? That's an interesting comment.
Yeah, because there was so much happening. And I also think they were trying to like sort of copy the Lego movie, but not. But the Lego movie wasn't that complicated. The Lego movie had one thing basing on it. This movie was sort of like a show.
Interesting, okay.
I like that there was a lot of action and that there was some funny parts in it because I like movies with comedy and a lot of action. And I think that's the only reason why I liked it.
Okay, so I checked off 2 boxes for you, comedy and action.
I need to find my little brother. I feel different. I've got super strength.
We have a broad range of ages in our panel today. What do you think is the appropriate age for this movie? Who's it made for?
I feel like it was made for kids, but I remember in the theater, all 3 of these little humans, especially him, he talked a lot. He was like, I don't get it, I'm confused. And though like Playmobil, people are gonna think it's for children, I actually think it's for a little older because again, pretty complex storyline, some scary scenes, some violent scenes.
Yeah, there were people on the ground.
That was interesting. That was an interesting point. When I heard the name of the movie, it automatically flashed in my mind, this is for really young children. But when I saw the trailer, I was like, that's kind of not really what I had in mind. So it's interesting to hear you say that.
So age range, 7-ish, 8-ish.
Really?
Maybe even a little older.
Hey, I'm right next to you. I'm 8.
Was it appropriate for you, Lily? Mm-hmm. Okay. What do you think the age range is?
Maybe like 8 and up.
8 and up, okay.
That's what
You said 7.
I said 7, 8-ish. It's not that it was inappropriate.
It's an interesting comment that you're both making because you're both basically saying the same thing, 7, 8, 9, and up. What about you guys?
I think that a 4 or 5-year-old wouldn't really understand the movie or get the movie, and 6 wouldn't really get the movie. But I kind of agree with their answer, like 7 and up,
Okay.
I'm saying.
Is there anything in the movie in your mind that would be too intense for somebody who's younger, say 4, 5, 6?
Yeah, there were a few violent scenes that were like, whoa, okay, that's a bit much.
When they were hanging in the thing and about to die and everything.
Oh, and then the dead bodies on the ground. Oh, that was not.
They were doing a
Are you
war.
sure? We're watching the same movie?
Yeah, there was a war at the very beginning.
Yeah, there was like dead bodies, like player war. Yeah.
Well, they're dead toys, actually.
Well, and also it was just a very complex storyline, so I feel like that's why most of us are saying older, but also, again, some violent, scary, sad scenes.
Oh, that's interesting. Jacob, what is your thought on age?
I honestly think it depends on what your parents would say, because for me, I think it's kind of complicated, but at the same time, I think it's violent. So I could kind of go with them, but maybe like 6 and up.
Okay. So we're all in the same ballpark then in terms of age. Is this movie co-watchable? Would a parent enjoy watching this movie with their child? Why don't we start with you, Marcus?
I think that some parents would like to watch it because they'd understand some of the stuff in here, and maybe there's some funny spots in action that they would like.
Sophia, you seem to be itching to give a response to this one.
Okay, so maybe, I don't know, because the parents, they'll remember Playmobil and when their kids used to play with it, so it might bring back a bit of nostalgia.
Right.
But also, I don't feel like they'd love this movie. I feel like a lot of the times they'd be like, oh, well, that's weird. That doesn't make any sense, like that kind of stuff, because it goes all over the place.
Right.
And it's like, is my kid following? Is this okay for my kid?
With my connections, I could find your brother no problemo. One of them is the world's greatest secret agent.
This way.
Over the last several months, a number of citizens vanished into thin air.
Do you think it's the same people who took my brother?
I'm 100% almost sure.
So we're at that point in the review now where we have to actually give our rating for the movie. I wonder what our rating should be this week. Lily, you got an idea?
How many Toymobiles?
Toymobiles.
It's very, very common and
Robot, fairy godmothers.
No, please.
wands.
Rex. Spies.
Pirates.
How many breakfast burritos?
Are we filming?
Yeah, breakfast burritos. Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna rate this out of breakfast burritos.
Let's start that again.
You don't think this was totally organized and perfectly executed?
But he sells burritos in his truck.
So we're going to rate the movie 1 to 5 breakfast burritos. Let's start with Marcus. What do you think?
I think I'd give it a rating of a 3 because I feel like Playmobil, did I say that right?
Yep.
Isn't really my thing. But I feel if it was a pretty good movie. So I
Okay.
think I'd give it 3 breakfast burritos.
3 breakfast burritos. That's a healthy breakfast, my son. Next, Lily.
I give it 5 out of 5 breakfast.
Really?
It was a really good movie.
Wow. Okay. That's really good. That's going to leave you with a very full stomach.
I thought my rating was going to be the highest.
Yeah. So you're going to give it 5 out of 5 even though you didn't really like any of the songs?
Oh, I like the fairy godmother.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, that's great. I like the diversity here. Let's see what else we get.
I don't think the song's really bad.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah,
They just put them in for no reason, I think. Like they didn't
make
have
the
a rate. They
movie
just
longer.
just to put more things in it.
Interesting. Jacob, your breakfast burrito count, sir.
I would rate it 3.5 breakfast burritos.
Wow. Okay. This is being rated higher than I expected. Why 3.5?
Well, because
And you know, if you do 0.5, you're probably gonna, like all the bacon's gonna get stuck at the end, right? You know, so you're gonna get all scrambled egg. Just ignore me.
We always do.
I rated it that because I liked it. It wasn't the best movie I've ever seen. It wasn't the worst, but it was in the middle, and I didn't want to rate it lower than 3 or higher than 4
Okay.
because it wasn't like, it's just in the middle.
I gotcha. Okay. Sophia.
Maybe a 3. I don't know. It was just like a little bit confusing. Well, it wasn't really that confusing, but I can understand. Like, it just kind of went all over the place, and then it came back together, and then it scattered again.
Wow. Okay.
And it was just not hard to follow, but again, kind of like crazy. Instead of like a easy plot inclination, then downfall, it was more of like a,
A roller coaster.
yeah, basically.
Just like at Walt Disney World.
Bye from Walt Disney World.
Can you not?
So it sounds to me that you guys are recommending the movie. Then, if you're all sort of above 3, you seem to like the movie, which is great.
If you play with the toys,
Yeah.
maybe.
Thanks for watching.
Don't forget to follow us on social media. Being social is good.
Subscribe, like, share, and comment.
Join us next time when we review and watch Jumanji: The Next Level.
Okay, guys, that was a terrific review. Thank you so much. And before we wrap up for the day, you want to see some pictures from my trip to Walt Disney World? I think Sophia's still a little sensitive about missing out on the trip last week.
What trip?
Here we go, and action.
Thanks for watching.
Don't forget to follow us on social media.
Like, subscribe.
Don't forget to follow us on social
media.
Today we'll be watching and reviewing I said
Toy
Playmobil. Today we'll be watching and reviewing Playmobil.
But the co-watchability issue is, will parents enjoy watching this with their kids?
What's co-watchability?
He just
I just explained it.
Anya Taylor-Joy, Gabriel Bateman, and Daniel Radcliffe.
Radcliffe.